Hello all, it's week 15. This is our last week of class, and our focus is on continuing the creativity, orienting yourself toward the future, and how you'll keep your creative, innovative, entrepreneurial ideas flowing. I'm going to talk first in this video about presenting and representing your ideas. You can have the most creative, innovative idea in the world, but if you can't effectively share it with others, it's not going to go very far. Then I'm going to talk more specifically about the slide deck that you're creating in your groups for Creativity Quest 4 and presenting your entrepreneurial ideas for this assignment. I'm going to draw here on some example pitches made by entrepreneurs to secure venture funding, but a formal pitch setting isn't the only time you're going to be presenting your ideas, presenting your innovations, and pitching yourself. This might happen casually over drinks, it might happen at an intern fair, it might happen in an elevator. One key habit of effective, passionate entrepreneurs is that they know how to share their ideas and how to sell themselves. So first we'll focus on presenting your idea, and then we'll talk just for a minute about presenting yourself. When you're presenting or pitching an idea or a project, some of the initial considerations you should have include knowing your audience, having a story, putting your ask right up front, justifying that ask, anticipating questions, being humble, not overpromising, sharing your passion and excitement, and knowing how to anticipate what's expected of you. Anticipating what's expected relates to how and where you're pitching your idea. Are you giving a concept pitch, truly presenting an idea? Or will a business plan be expected? Are you expected to deliver a slideshow? If so, is it standalone like your Creativity Quest 4 work, or will you be presenting the slides? If you are delivering a slideshow, are there any other materials that you need to prep? Do you have 2 minutes to share your idea? 10 minutes? 20 minutes? Will there be time for interaction, questions, or discussion? We've seen the tempo run pitch before, but I hope you'll look at it now from a slightly different angle.
Look at you on your daily morning 6 a.m. run through the cold weather. Now that's what I call dedication. You are listening to your music and trying to find that perfect song for your run. The first song in your playlist is by far the slowest song that could possibly come on. The tempo is just too slow, so you skip to the next song. This one's even worse. The pace of the track is way too fast and you cannot keep up. How annoying, right? Your music has once again thrown off your running stride. Thankfully, we have the solution. Say hello to Tempo Run. Our revolutionary new app will take all the music on your phone and categorize each song into specific levels based on tempo. So while listening to a certain level, every song will be the same, perfect tempo that you enjoy running to. And hey, if you don't have your own music, we have you covered with our streaming Tempo Radio. Tempo Run is going to sync your run and your music. And that, my friend, is going to make you a happier, stronger runner. The perfect run is only a download away.
At the point in time when the team showed this video at South by Southwest, the app didn't exist. What they pitched here was an idea. Not a half-baked one or a skinny idea. They provided enough detail and description to convince venture funders that the idea was fundable and doable and that they were the team to move this idea into reality. Part of the reason why I asked you to participate in creativity exposure opportunities this semester is for you to have the chance to see different people talk, present their ideas, and pitch themselves. If you want to get a sense of different contexts for pitching ideas, keep checking out different local, state, national startup events like the Hatching, Greenlight, Start Garden. Definitely check out South by Southwest Student Startup Madness Competition. And you can also find a list of more than 80 startup competitions on the eShip website. To get to the list of startup competitions on the eShip website, head to eship.msu.edu or entrepreneurship.msu.edu. Select resources, and then select competitions. If you want to see the full competitions list, click on competitions list. You'll be taken to a locked Google document where you can scroll through and see the big list. So let's take a look at a few example pitches. In 2015, MasterCard built an elevator to solicit elevator pitches. And they used it to invite pitches for different causes and entrepreneurial ideas. And they ran it at the Mashable House at South by Southwest. MSU students pitched their idea for Tech Twirl. And you're going to see both the pitches that MSU students gave in this elevator.
Finalists today, 1 grand prize winner lands tomorrow.
Come on in. Stand right here.
Do you hear me?
Face this camera right here. When you're ready to start, when the door's closed, press this pitch button. Red light's going to come on in that corner. That's when your time starts. You have 60 seconds to give your pitch. With 10 seconds remaining,
Okay. Hi, my name is Patrick, and I'm with TechTwirl. We're releasing a mobile app called Protection. This is a new freemium insurance app for your mobile device. The problem is, what do you do when you break your phone? 1 out of 4 people will break their device before the next upgrade, and the problem is, what happens when you're left without a phone? I just lost mine on 6th Street myself. Looking on Craigslist is difficult and unsafe. Going to a repair shop could be costly, and buying off the internet just isn't viable when you need a phone now. You cannot live without your mobile device today. So Protection solves this problem by finding you a replacement or repair the moment shit hits the fan. If you lose your device, you can shop on our marketplace for a new one. If you're just trying to sell a device, you can sell directly to us or a local buyer. And if you break your device, our app will know what's broken. We know your carrier, your memory, your condition of the phone. We return you the value at all times. So you'll always know when to get a new device, when to replace your device, and when you're out of luck, we'll have your back. Thank you.
Another context for pitches was hosted on the Start Garden website. To pitch, you have to create a profile and then answer a specific set of questions, which are brilliant questions for any entrepreneurial idea. What's a big deal? Describe the nearest player in the field. Who's your market competition? How are you different from that player or other existing competition? How does this idea scale into a big business? Is it a tiny little idea that's going to come and go? Or is this something that can grow, gain traction, be scalable? Why are you the one to run with this idea? And what's a $5,000 experiment you can do to move your idea forward, to generate some proof of concept? And yet another space to see how ideas are pitched are TV shows like Shark Tank and Dragon's Den. I want to share a compelling pitch from an episode of Dragon's Den. I've included just the pitch and some of the questions the team was asked.
Next in the den, Mark Watson and Mark Appleby from Ottawa and their eco-friendly road salt. It's called eco-traction, and it's not really salt, but rather a volcanic mineral mined from a secret source.
Hello, Dragons. My name is Mark Watson. This is Mark Appleby. We're both from Ottawa, Canada, and we have a product called eco-traction. We're looking for $150,000 for 5% or $300,000 for 10% of our company. Are any of you dog owners?
Absolutely.
Great. About 3 years ago, my dog Grover suddenly died from cancer. After going to the oncologist, they suggested there was a toxin in the environment, and it may have been the road salt. This led me to look for an eco-friendly alternative to road salt. Eco-traction is basically an all-natural volcanic mineral. It's a highly porous, naturally occurring stone that basically absorbs the thin layer of water on the surface of ice, embeds itself, almost like Velcro, creating a sandpaper effect. So rather than actually melting the ice, it creates a safe traction zone so that you don't slip and fall.
Mark, why is the fish there?
The fish is there because we're trying to demonstrate that this rock is so safe that the fish can actually swim in a tank full of eco-traction. And the plant is here because we're demonstrating that this product is so safe that the plant can grow in 100% eco-traction.
Isn't sand eco-friendly?
Sand mixes in 5 to 10% salt to prevent it from freezing in the winter. It's also very mucky. It also tends to clog up the roots on grass when it gets on your grass.
Where does it come out of the earth?
We have a unique geological deposit, and there's only one particular supply that has this characteristics that we have identified to provide particular
got the rights
traction.
to that supply?
We have the exclusive rights for all of North America.
If you're interested, you can head to YouTube, search for Dragon's Den and Eco Traction, and watch the entire episode, including the responses of the team to the questions they were asked by their potential funders. I'd suggest that you all seek out places where people are pitching ideas. Learn to watch presentations as a presenter. From the clip we just saw, as a viewer, you have a good sense of what the entrepreneurs are pitching, an eco-safe road melt product. From the clip we just saw, as a presenter, you have a good sense of how they pitched the product. They told a compelling story. They had a goldfish as a prop. Don't just watch presentations for content. Watch for how the content is delivered, the moves, modes, and methods that work particularly well. And you're also going to have to pitch and present yourself. Another space where I encourage you all to think about pitching your ideas is on your resume, in your LinkedIn profile, and with your profile in MSU's Entrepreneurship Network. That's MSU Startup Tree, which we talked about earlier in class and is accessible on the eShip website. The first pitch that you really have to make to develop your entrepreneurial career is to pitch yourself. And 2 of our creativity cases for this week will really help provide some advice and examples for how to best do so. At this point in time, you're in a project group for Creativity Quest 4. Last week, I offered some suggestions for getting started, including really pinpointing an aspect of the issue your group is tackling and starting to brainstorm possible entrepreneurial approaches. Your final product for Creativity Quest 4 is a collaboratively created deck of slides situating the issue and pitching an entrepreneurial approach. Your slideshow should include a title slide with everyone's name, an introduction to the issue or problem, a discussion of why it's an issue and who it impacts, your pitch with good detail and description, some of the considerations related to implementing your idea, and then your recommended next steps. Some of these topics might require 2 or 3 slides, so don't feel you have to create 1 slide for each topic, but know I want you to address all of these things and include all of these topics in your slide deck. I've posted an example pitch slide deck. It's what I'm still working on. It's a draft and it's annotated with some comments on D2L. You can find it in the syllabus, assignments, and examples subfolder. When I introduced phase 1 of Creativity Quest 4, my example issue that I thought affected students was having to leave a pet behind and not being able to have a warm-blooded pet. So my pitch is for East Lansing's first cat cafe, the Possum Cat Cafe. My example isn't the only way to shape your slide deck, but I hope seeing a draft example is helpful as your group continues to move forward with Creativity Quest 4. By now, again, you should have narrowed your focus with your group down to something more manageable and begun brainstorming and doing a bit of research. One important thing to keep in mind as you develop your idea and work on your pitch is that your idea must be entrepreneurial. It should be creative, innovative, and revenue generating. It has to make money or have a funding model. We have 2 readings for this week, both of which focus on how entrepreneurs stay creative. Sometimes the everyday work of being an entrepreneur or intrapreneur takes up the majority of your time, running budgets, managing staff, approving publicity or marketing efforts. Making sure you have time to nurture your own creativity is important, and these 2 pieces offer really good advice for doing so. You have 2 cases to read. Both are MSU publications and both relate to the concept of pitching yourself. You do so with your resume, your LinkedIn profile, how you introduce yourself at networking events, and more. One of the two cases is MSU's Career Passport. Skim through it. There are fantastic ideas here for you to consider as an intern or an employee, but there are also good ideas for you to consider as someone who might potentially be hiring and firing employees and constructing teams. The other case is MSU's 12 Essentials booklet. This short guidebook describes the 12 key characteristics that employers are looking for in new hires. Finally, we have 2 sparks for this week. One is a set of legendary initial pitch decks and what we can learn from them. And the second is a set of tips for building a better pitch deck. And both of these offer tons of great ideas that you can ideally immediately put into place in working on Creativity Quest 4. Again, this is our last week of class. There is no final exam for this class. Creativity Quest 4 is due uploaded to D2L by noon next week, Wednesday, May 1st. One person in your group should be tasked with uploading your group's final slide deck. Both of your individual creativity exposure write-ups are also due at noon next week, Wednesday. And if you choose to pursue one of the extra credit opportunities for class, your extra credit work is also due uploaded to D2L by noon next Wednesday, May 1st. Later this week, I'll send out my response and grading sheet for Creativity Quest 4 so you all have a strong sense of what I'm looking for and hoping to see in your slide decks. I think this will be really helpful advice along with what I've shared here and what I've shared on the example slide deck. If you have any questions about wrapping up our classwork for the semester, please email me. This is also a really good time to head to D2L, look at your grades for our assignment so far, make sure you don't see any issues or problems. If you think you submitted something and you're not finding a grade or feedback, please email me right away. Finally, I'm going to send out later this week the link to MSU SIRS system. This is where you can evaluate me, my teaching, and your experiences this semester. This is the 3rd time I've taught this course, and I get to teach it again next spring. Your constructive feedback and helpful critique will help me make this a better experience for students next spring. Thanks, and happy end of the semester.